guys, welcome to the first episode and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I was thinking that we would do a makeup tutorial and I'm feeling really summer vibes, so I think we're gonna go with a sunflower theme. Prior to starting though, I have nothing on my face, just a little bit of primer and moisturizer. So from there, let's get started. First thing that I'm going to do is take some of my foundation, and for this I'm using my Revlon Photo Ready BB Cream. I figured Summer Vibes was a very neutral, natural look, so for the face we're going to go for that, and then the eyes are going to be a little bit more dramatic. So I put some on the back of my hand, and I'm going to dab my beauty blender and get this all over my face, because isn't that fun? And the goal is to get it as even as possible. And we're working. Oh, don't get it on your eye though. That's not good for you. Or maybe it is, I don't know. Your preferences. So I'm gonna need a little bit more. This is definitely a sheer coverage. It's a BB cream. If you're not familiar with that, BB cream is like a tinted moisturizer. I prefer that because it's lighter on the skin and it's got that SPF, so it'll help you stay looking young. Don't we all want that? Don't forget to take it down the neck. You want to blend everything out. Blending is your friend, I promise. Blend, 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 blend. Alrighty. I think we've got some decent coverage going on for as light coverage as we can. So from here, I'm going to grab my Tarte Creaseless Concealer and put that underneath the eye to disguise those dark circles. I did forget to mention that when you're using a beauty blender, you're going to want it to be damp, not moist, damp. It just helps smooth everything together and buff and blur that all out. The tiny beauty blender that I have in my hand right now really helps get into that eye crease. And there we go. Okay, so from there we are going to grab some setting powder. I'm using the Laura Mercier translucent setting, and we're just going to dab, dab, dab that right underneath the eye area. Not all the way in, just because we want to bake a little bit. Helps mattify everything and keep everything in its place. And if you leave a little bit of extra loose powder, it'll make it easier for you to brush away any fallout when you're doing your eyeshadow, which is key. Because there is nothing worse than doing a smoky eye and having black shadow everywhere. So from there we can work on our cheek contour, which is never a bad idea. For this, I'm just gonna laugh with it. For this, I am using my flat-edged contour brush that I picked up from, I think it was Walgreens, because, you know, that's cool. Well, when you can save money, let's do it. And you're gonna take this down on your jawline, so that way you're really like snatching that face, bringing it all in. And don't worry, it looks a little harsh right now, but like I said earlier, you're gonna want to blend it out. Blending is your friend. Yes, friends. I also like taking it up into my hairline just so that we can add some color and some glow. Definitely summertime, and I don't like outside, so we're gonna pretend like we've been outside. And for the blending, I'm going to take an angled fluffy brush and just work that into the cheek area. And grab a little bit more pigment. And yeah, go from there. So this is just deepening up the corners of your face, just so that you have like a natural sun-kissed glow. Work that in. Work it. Work it, girl, work it. So from there, I'm going to accentuate that a little bit with my bronzer. I'm actually using the Unique Beachfront bronzer. It is from a direct sales company, but I happen to love it, so I'm just going to continue using it. And with that same angled brush, I'm just going to go back in and sweep the areas that I touched with contour earlier and really just glow myself out. Oh, those pesky hairs. They want to join the party. Same thing for the other side, and then we're going to hit the cheekbones where we put the contour a second ago. Okay. So now for that all-important nose contouring, what I like to do is take the very edge of my straight contour brush and just barely tap it in there. You're gonna get a little bit of color, knock off some excess on the lid, and follow the natural line of your nose on each side. This side's always difficult because I'm right-handed. Here we go. So same thing, I usually just take my brush and scrape it up against the edge just to knock off anything else that wouldn't if you tapped it, because now we're going to blend that down the side of the nose using up and down motions, like you're rubbing it in. I think we pretty much got it there. From there, I'm going to take what should be a fluffy crease brush, and I'm going to dip into the lighter bone shade color to act as a highlight down the center bone of the nose. And that's just to create contrast between the contour that you just added and now your highlight without it being glittery. I want a little natural accent. From there, oh, I forgot to mention I'm using NYX 3 steps to sculpt. 3 steps to sculpt. 3 steps to sculpt. Okay, so now that we have that happening, we're going to take one of my favorite products ever in the entire world is my NARS Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base. It is seriously long lasting, and it's just going to make sure that your eyeshadow doesn't go anywhere. So we're going to apply that onto the lid, and I'm going to do one eye right now. I use my finger, rub it in, get even coverage across the lid because you don't want your product and your shadow to stick to any specific spot more than the other. Like I said, you want to blend everything out, so even coverage is going to be your friend. So from there, I am going to grab my BH Cosmetics Studio Pro palette that I recently got. So I guess this is like a first introduction / product review. I am super excited, except for I can't seem to get it open. Here we go, I got it. So in this palette, I want to because we're going for that summer sunflower vibe, I want to stay with warm colors. So on this palette, we have the bone color, and we're going to start with that first with a fluffy crease brush. And you're going to put that all over the lid. Okay, so first thing that I'm realizing is that there's definitely some kickback from this palette, but that's okay. I do not mind. I am going to work this bone color all into the lid to give myself a nice clean base to work with so that the rest of the colors will blend out the way we want them to. Alrighty. So now that I've got that all over the lid, we can start with our small crease brush. And we're gonna go into this nice warm brown here. It's a really light shade. You wanna start light and work your way up. And you're gonna go into your crease line and just slightly brush it using light strokes. It's always better to start with less product and work your way up because it's easier to fix mistakes that way. So we're going to, we're going to continue doing that. And we're going to carry it almost all the way to the inside of the lid, but we're going to stop just so that we can blend everything out. Still using that same color and working our way. Bring it down to this edge. Now we're going to go with this shade, just slight, the one right next to it, and tap into that. And go over that same area. You want to deepen up that crease. And we're definitely hitting near the lash line on the outer side of your lid. And we are blending outward and upward slowly. And carrying it over. So one more time, except this time we're gonna go a row down and into this, I wanna call it a hazelnut shell color. I think that's what that looks like. And we're gonna do that same exact thing, just deepening up that crease a little bit. We don't wanna go too dark because we want it to be light and bright. Now that we've got that, we're gonna take a fluffy crease brush. It's a small one. Dip back into that color that we just hit, the walnut shell. And we're going to fluff it out towards the brow bone area. And then as we get closer to the center of the eye and towards the inner eye, we're lightening our pressure so that it has a nice transition. And then coming into this corner and deepening it up. Yeah, I think I like how that looks. So then we are going to bounce into this brown. This is a cool tone brown, but I really just want to deepen this outer lid area just a smidge with that same fluffy crease brush. And we are just going to work that until it won't work for us. And again, deepen it up slowly. I think the key to eyeshadow is honestly taking your time. And unlike other art forms, you're done when you say you're done. I mean, we could spend all day doing this, but we love it. Alright, now that that edge is as dark as I want it to be, we're going to blend over into what's already existing on the middle eye and drag it into the inner eye corner. From there, I am going to take my concealer that I use, the creaseless, and I'm going to grab a small concealer brush and wipe some on the back of my hand. And we're going to take this brush and just like this, and just lightly dip into it and hit that corner of your eye so that we can allow there to be a new fresh sticky base for any shimmer or glitter that we're going to use. And we're going to do this as evenly and as seamlessly as possible into that bone area, the bone colored area that we have, which will find a way of blending into what we already have. So because we've got that pretty little base there, we're gonna go into a nice gold copper shimmer, whatever this color's name is. I guess my first critique of this palette would be I wish that the colors had names, because it's more fun that way and it makes it easier to remember what you did when you're going back. So you're going to start at the inner corner of your eye and work that into the concealer that you just put down. And we're just going to do this as like a quick base and carry that from one end of the eye all over to the other, but lightening the pressure as we get into what we just shaded out with the crease brush so that there's a smooth flow between. We don't want any harsh lines. So one trick that I learned is to take your finger and dip into that color that you're using and go ahead and apply it with your actual finger, because you're going to get the maximum pigment payoff when you're going back over. Doesn't that look so much better now? So from here, I'm going to take a normal eyeshadow brush, just a normal brush, and the second palette that we're using today is actually the Zodiac palette, also by BH Cosmetics. And I want to have a little bit of fun, so I'm going to dip into the color Scorpio, which in my opinion is like a penny colored, almost orange colored, and I'm going to take that from the outside corner to the center of the eye, just to deepen up and add some texture. And then again, we're going to go with our finger and tap in. And then go into the brush and blend the two areas so they kind of fall seamlessly into one another. Although these colors are really similar, when you're out in direct sunlight, it's definitely going to shine and show a difference, which to me is the fun part. Last but not least for this eye, we're going to go in with another shadow brush, but I'm just going to quickly wipe off that brown that we had on it earlier for the edges. And we are going to go back into the first BH Cosmetics Pro palette and dip into a pretty shimmer. And we're going to take that into the tear spot of the eye just to highlight the corner and give it the whole look more dimension. Now, continuing with that theme, we're going to carry it underneath the lash, and for that we're going to use a normal shadow brush again. You could also use the same crease brushes that you have because it's going to be the same colors. We're going to mirror what happened on top to the bottom. So we're going to use that Scorpio color that we use in the Zodiac palette. Dip in, tap excess off, and bring it underneath the lid or your bottom lash line, and just blend that up. And then to that first gold color that we used, or the orangey gold, and we're going to connect to that highlight that we used for the tear duct area. And then just kind of blend those together and up the side of the eye. And yeah, we've got like an almost completed look. So in my opinion, I think that this is working really well. I just want to go back through and touch the sides of this and kind of blur them out a little bit. And then last but not least, we're going to take a normal shadow brush and we are going to highlight that brow bone. So we're going to take a really like nice shimmery metallic or shimmery color, tap off our brush, and we're going to highlight that brow bone area just ever so slightly, just a little bit. If you feel like you put too much on, that's okay. Grab a clean blending brush and go ahead and buff that out. Alrighty, looking good. So next, I'm just going to continue with half my face. We're going to do my brow on one side, and then I'll come back to you with the completed side, with the completed other side. So for my brows, I am using the CoverGirl What Are You in Honey Brown, and we're going to brush the brow, make everything all even. And then take that color and feather it into the brow look. I know I'm gonna get crap for my brows. I always have, but to be all honest, I love that natural look. Nothing compares. If I had better brows, I would probably go bold and dramatic, but I haven't figured that out yet. If you know the secret, let me know. So now that I've feathered that in, I'm going to take the brush side again, the spindle, and work that color into the brow area. And then hit it with a little bit of the Brow This Way styling gel, which has argan oil in it. Which is really good for your skin and your hair. So we're going to set those brows just by lightly running the clear gel over top, grabbing a spoolie and brushing it through so that it stays in place. And there we go. So because this is a natural look, what I want to do is, oh dear. Sorry, lost brush. I am going to grab a angled liner brush and use that to grab a dark brown from my palette and line the top lid with this brown. So, not going very dramatic, just very natural and easy. Not going to wing it out, not for this look. So that leaves us with lashes, and I am a huge fan of Tati, so she suggested using the Lash Paradise, and I instantly fell in love. So that's what we're going to be using today. It's the L'Oreal Lash Paradise, and I think it's awesome. Alrighty, and then to there, there, grab the spoolie brush again and just work that up to your lashes. Spread out anything that may or may not be clumped together. You know your eyelashes better than I do, and mine are troublesome. They're grounded all the time. If that was a thing. Like, if you could ground your lashes, I would do it. At some point throughout my YouTube history, once it progresses, we'll get to fake lashes, but girl needs confidence first, and I am working on that. So I think that looks pretty good. Now that we've got 50% of the face done, I am going to be right back. I went ahead off camera and finished the other side of my face, and we've been baking this whole time, so to avoid remove all of the fallout, I'm going to take my fluffy face brush and just sweep underneath the eye and get all of that setting powder out from there. Smooth everything all out. And we are looking good. So from there, we're going to do highlight, and I'm going to use the Glow Sun Dip Kit from Anastasia Beverly Hills. And I'm going to go into the shade Summer and dip in with a stippled brush and go right above that contour. And we are going to hit that bone until it shines. And then I like to mix with Moonstone too, just to add something extra. And we're gonna, blinding highlight, woohoo! And then we're gonna do this to the other side. I think we're there. I think we're even. We're going to tap that on the tip of the nose and the Cupid's bow of your lip. Make everything shine. And I'm going to take a brush and kind of just swirl that around. Bring it up the nose just a smidge. And you know what? For the giggles of it, let's go right in that T-zone and just lightly brush what's left on the brush onto the face. Cool. Looking good. So next we're almost done. We've got blush, and I'm going to dip into yet another BH Cosmetics palettes. It's the Blush Neutrals, and in the bottom, they've got a few color options, but I'm going to go and mix the lightest two together. Just a little bit, tap off the excess, and go into the apples of the cheeks. And do that again with the other side. And oh dear. We're going to blend that out. Awesome. And then last but not least, we have lips. And for that, today I'm using the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade Nudist, which, you know, I think the neutral part of that fits into the whole look that we're going. So excuse me while I scoot in a little bit. So I really like the way that this one feels. It goes on smooth. The doe foot applicator makes life so much easier. And I really feel like the nude shades help with like even coverage across the lips, so there's no streakiness. Alrighty. And I think that is the completed look. So let's go ahead and let down those curls. Shake that hair out a little bit. Oh, don't mind the fluff. And I generally like to pop a bobby pin or two into the hair, pull it back away from the face because you just created a masterpiece. Show it off. So there you have it, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please subscribe and then go to the bell icon, click all so that you're notified each and every time I upload a video. If you liked it, give me a big thumbs up. If you have any suggestions about what you'd like to see next, leave it in the comments down below. I am so excited to start this journey with you guys, and I can't wait to see you all in the next video. Bye!